Hey guys, welcome back to Top Tipper Betting Tips. I trust you're having a fantastic evening and you're getting ready for the racing that's going to be taking place out at the Vaal. I'm going to have the postman tipping out at the Vaal, so I'm going to hand you over to the postman for his analysis.
Morning, good evening, or good afternoon, no matter where in the world you guys are. And again, a big warm welcome to the Top Tipper family. Racing comes to us on Tuesday, the 25th of July. We at the Vaal main track, 8 races carded, and the first race is due off at 12:25. Well, let's go through the selections for us here. As I said, the first race is 12:25, a work rider's maiden plate for the girls to be run over 1,000 meters. I don't get involved in work riders races, so it's a bipot. I've gone 2 horses. First selection is number 12. Wait for the green light from the Habib yard. I'm putting a line through the last run. I think that went all wrong with the blinkers. The stable's taken the blinkers off, and I do think that this one will give a very good account of itself. For second, I've gone for the 9. This is Jumping Analia. This is currently top of the boards around about 16-10. If you look at the selections, I've got one down the inside, one down the outside. Please, guys, bear in mind that every time we go up this Vaal main course, they're winning either on the inside or the outside. Please, please, please watch and see and adjust your bets accordingly. There's a hell of a bias, whether it's in or out, but there's a hell of a bias, so please take that into account. For third, I've gone for the 1 Wilkies. Top work rider here, Sam Messier for the St. John Greyard. I do think Wilkies has had plenty chances, and for me, back end of trifectas and quartets. And what I have done for fourth, I've gone for the first timer, War Queen, from the Huda Larkus yard. I like the breeding on this one, albeit I think it's for a little bit further than 1,000 meters, but you don't have to be too good to win this race. So in the first, we've gone 12, 9, 1, and 13. I'll put one on each side, and I'm sure to get through the first leg of the bipod. The second race of the card, due off at 1,300 hours, a maiden juvenile plate over 1,200 meters, due off at, as I said, 1,300 hours. First selection here is the 6, Wiziak Samanga Kamala for the Spiciard. Very good run. First time out, I think reverting back to the 1,200 will shoot this one down to the ground. Certainly my first selection. Second selection is horse 8, King's Ransom. Gavin Arena rides well for the yard. Nicely bred, son of Dannon Platina. Watch it go down again and throw this one in. For the bipods, if you're a bit nervous, maybe you can throw the 4 or the 13. We've only gone 2. We've got 8 and 16. As I said, if you're nervous, throw the 3rd and 4th selections. We've gone 16, 8, 4, and 13. The third race on the card, guys, first leg of the pick 6, due off at 13:35. A maiden juvenile plate for the girls over 1,200 meters. And in this event, I think it's more open than the betting suggests. Narrow first selection is horse number 2, Contra Fiscum. Gavin Arena for the Azzy yard is drawn 12 out of 13. I'm certainly not going to put my head down on this one. Maybe the 1,200 will suit this one. Must be included even in the pick 6. For second, excuse me, I have gone for the 3, Courageous, Ant Magutla from the Dawson yard. I'm sure Gavin would have had the choice of rides, so maybe there's the Swingers 2 and 3, but I'm throwing that in as well. For the bipot, I'm throwing in horse number 12, Universal Love, Samanga Kamala for the Huda Larkus yard. I see there's been a touch of support for this one, so please, guys, just watch that. If there's more support, maybe throw this one in the place accumulator as well. But for pick 6 purposes, should this one arrive, as long as your selection first runner runs second, and I do think 2 or 3 should be sufficient there. As a lunatic, I've thrown in the 8, Sigrid Swing. I do think that this um, horse is drawn on the right side of the yard or of the track. 2 runs back to Ivy League. I think Ivy League is above average. We go and look 7 lengths. Was drawn in the car park on that occasion. I'm looking for an improved performance from the 8. If you're taking swings and quartets, don't leave the 8 out. Pick 6, maybe go 2, 3, and 8. As I said, the 12 arrives. Hope like how the 8 comes in there. So race 3, 2, 3, 12, and 8 are our selections. Fourth race on the card, due off at 14:10. Maiden plate for the girls over 1600 meters. Take note, guys, horse 3 on Pity Patty is out. In this event, my narrow first selection is horse number 1. And this is Solar Diva Muzieni for the Zaki yard. 2 fair efforts coming back from a layoff. And I'm looking for a decent effort from horse number 1, Solar Diva. For second, I've thrown in horse number 8, Azaleas for All. Calvin Habib for the Fani Broncos yard. Again, I don't think that this one is too bad and certainly can make its presence felt. For third, I've thrown in the 2, Summer of Dreams, Marco van Rensburg for the Heather Adamson yard. This has had several chances, maybe good enough for back end of trifectas and quartets. And for fourth, I've thrown in the first timer, Zitgeist, Camilo Mazziani for the De Kock yard. Again, watch for any support for this one. It is currently around about 15 or 16 to 10. I don't think it has to be too great to beat the 1, but 1600 meters up the Vaal straight is going to be quite special to win first time out. Larger perms, if you're taking jackpots, I wouldn't leave it alone. But for pick 6 purposes, I think 1 and 8 should get us through there. Fifth race on the card, due off at 14:45. Maiden plate over 1600 meters. And in this event, I think there's also quite an open event. I think there's 4 or 5 horses that are in with a chance. Narrow first selection is the 8, No Place Like Home. JP van der Merwe for the Mike de Kock yard. I'm looking for a better effort than the last one. I was disappointed with that run. However, it is a third run after a rest. Could be drawn on the right, so the track must go in. For second, I've gone for the 11 Purple Pitcher, Gav Arena for Robin Clarkson. Gavin riding this horse for the first time. I'm looking for major improvement from horse number 11, include in all bets. For third, I've gone for the 6, Brotherhood of Magic, Muzieni for the Burtis Forstler yard. They could have a fair day. Warren Burtis, they could have a very, very decent day. I've got that third. And for fourth, I've thrown the 7 Diesel Shadow. Jackpots, I'm putting in all 4. The bipot, I am going 6, 8, and 11. Even with the place accumulator, 6, 8, 11 is a must in all bets. 6 race on the card. Due off at 15:20, merit rated 82 handicap over 1200 meters. And in this event, we found my value bet of the day. This is horse number 7, Mini Coupe. Diego de Gaveo getting the ride here for the Dawson yard. He's coming back from a short rest, but I really do believe that this one will be there when the whips are cracking. And round about 11 to 2, I think is great each way value. Don't leave this one out. For second, I have gone for horse number 3, Munchkin. Simonga Commander for the Hoodolakis yard. Second run after rest. I also think this is a fair sort. Must be thrown into all exotics. For third, I've gone for 1, Captain Dizzy. Siamesa Sibo for the Burtis Forstler yard. Very, very decent form. I don't like the weight on this one. I'm not saying he can't win, but I would only include this one at a stretch. For fourth, we've gone for the 10, Nice Ruffy here, back to basics, for Sunday Ntoli for the Matchet yard. This beat Mescal well last time out, or really, really good race. Got up to win by a neck, and again, can give a decent account of itself. Smaller punters, I think 3 and 7 will be sufficient. You've got 7, 3, 1, and 10, And as I said, 7 is a nice each way value bet. 7th race on the card, draw off at 15.55, a middle stakes over 1400 meters. And I think this is the toughest race on the card. In order of preference, 7, 1, 5, and 8. But guys, throw in as many as the budget would allow here. Clarkson, Jared Penny gets on well with this horse. If the going is better on the outside, really, this one will go very, very close. If not on the outside, well, then we need to go and look. Then maybe we look at Bard of Avon. But for pick 6 and jackpot purposes, throw in as many as the budget would allow. We'll move on to the lucky last, due off at 16.30, merit rate is 74 handicap for the girls over 1600 meters. And I do think the best bet on the card comes up in the last. And this is horse number 2, Ivy League. Samanga Kamalo gets the mount here for the Boitas Fosler yard. This one did win very, very well last time out. I do think the 1600 will suit this one down to the ground. And 15 to 10, I think, is a really, really good bet. I think the best bet on the card. For second, I've gone for a nice rough here. 1 Radu. Camilla Mazziani for the Terry yard. Last time out, this horse was really, really wide in the race. Ran a very, very good race. If you're taking pick 6s, you don't want to go out in the last. I would certainly throw maybe the 1 and the 2 in my pick 6. For third, I've thrown in the 10, Mama Quero. Decent form, however, we're going to go and look. This one is 6 turning 7, but good enough to fill in one of the minor spots. And for fourth, I've gone for 3, Queen of Camelot, Gavin Arena for the Huda Larkis yard. 2 nice efforts between White Pearl. Again, guys, I know I'm harping on the draw. If the going is better down the inside, obviously please elevate the 3, Queen of Camelot. If it's on the outside, well, then maybe Queen of Camelot would be good enough to run a drum. So the 8th race, 2, 1, 10, and 3, and I do think 2 is decent value. Guys, please look at jockey changes, look at betting moves tomorrow. I reiterate again, check if there's a bias. If there is, then obviously adjust your bets accordingly. Take it easy, look after yourself. Stephen, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for that input, the postman. I really appreciate it. So you've tipped an 8-race program, your bar pot, your PA, your jackpot 1 and jackpot 2, and your best bet comes in race 8, number 2, RV League at 15 to 10, and your value bet race 6, number 7, Mini Coupe at 6 to 1. So that's fantastic value right there. Guys, don't forget to watch our TikTok for the Irish racing. It's free tips, and we've been in good form out there as well. So all in all, enjoy, have fun, break a leg, and cheers for now.